Good morning, everybody. Anna Sabramowitz here. Happy Monday. How are you doing, my friends? It's so wonderful to have you here. All right, so today I'm going to talk about, of course, interactive storytelling and persuasion and behavior change, but also I'm going to feature another one of my students, Kristin, who is also doing her own interactive story, and we'll talk about that and the goal. And her interactive story is actually focused on helping people change basically get a focus on how they can focus more and how they can become more creative. And the way she's doing it is very, very different, very non-intuitive, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this this breakdown. Okay, so first of all, hopefully that piqued your interest, and I'm going to bring up my my channel here so I can see you guys' comments. If you're here visiting, you better say hi, because I love seeing where you guys are visiting from. Now, just say, hi, Anna, I'm from wherever. That'd be awesome. But one of the things that I've been trying to do for a while now is really share with you the benefit of an interactive story, how the heck it fits into everything else that you're doing already as a person who designs learning for people, and also how the heck can you use it as a tool, as a leverage, as a catalyst to get people to move from a place of apathy, unawareness, uninterest, not caring, and how you get them started on that journey. And as far as I'm concerned, when you think about what an interactive story really is, at its core, it's really just it's kind of like a trailer to a movie. Like, imagine this, right? You don't even know that you're going to be interested in a movie that's going to be released 6 months down the line, right? But you're going to have to get your butt into the car, drive down, pay some exorbitant amount of money, and go and watch that movie, right? It's not like the movie just shows up. There's lots and lots of prep, lots and lots of buzz, lots and lots of celebrities going on talk shows. Well, I want you to consider the interactive story that to be that catalyst for somebody going into finally, let's say, that super training that you have planned for them, or in 3 months being ready to talk to a coach, or in 4 months being ready to mentor somebody else, whatever that is, right? So I want you to think about this as the spark that sets off almost a campaign, a marketing campaign for the journey for that person, right? To finally get there, get them someplace. And that's really what an interactive story is, right? Oh, here we got Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for saying hi. Okay, so I just want to do a quick little recap about what an interactive story is, because I think a lot of us here are interested in behavior change. Not interested, it's important to us. And the other thing I think is that we're working so hard to do all this stuff, and sometimes we hit a wall. We're saying, how come people aren't interested? Or sometimes we can hit a wall and say, I'm fighting all of these other things that are happening in the world as far as detracting people from attention, and I know this thing that I have can really, really help people if they just only realized it, if they only knew about it, right? And so what an interactive story can do is create this personal experience for an individual and help them see the potential. And that's really what we're trying to do here. And we're not trying to teach people how to be great leaders in a single sitting. We're not trying to get people to be super focused or productive in a single sitting. All we're trying to do with an interactive story is to shift their mind from complete unawareness, not knowing where they're at, to seeing a possibility. And that, to me, just seeing that possibility and then going to the next step, piquing that curiosity and clicking a link saying, I wonder what is in the LMS. I wonder what is the thing that's next. I wonder if I could get some more info. I wonder if there's a YouTube video about it. That, to me, is the behavior change that I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody to actually take the next step. And if I've emotionally connected to them enough through this story and it resonates, if they do that, I win, right? Because it's a catalyst. It's like when you see a movie trailer, right? The first thing you do, you're like, okay, well, somebody just, excites me. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what that's about. And then the next time, Wonder Woman, I see the trailer for Wonder Woman, then Wonder Woman is on some talk show, and I'm like, oh, she's excited, she's promoting it, she's talking about the character. Ooh, now I'm interested, right? And there's things everywhere to kind of get me excited on a journey for the final thing that I need me to do, which is to show up at the movies and watch that movie. But it didn't happen in a single event, right? So a lot of us, we launch things and we're like, it's a single event. Now you got to build it up. Anticipation. It's like the network effect, right? All these things working in concert. And that's what we're doing with our interactive story. So without further ado, let me get to Kristin's awesome story. So what's really cool is that Kristin is doing this as a portfolio piece for herself. She's a creative, right? And what's really cool is that this interactive story is helping her discover what works for her, but also through that journey of being that practitioner, she's sharing this through the journey of a character that's going to realize some things, which is pretty awesome, right? Because one of the things I stress is, she already, when she joined my program, she already wanted to craft something that would really push her personally as far as creativity, but also add to her portfolio, and she's already quite accomplished, but add to her portfolio a piece that would represent her new skills and also more of the skills that she wanted to develop in the future and more of the work that she wanted to do in the future as far as storytelling goes and interactivity and scenarios, right? And so the piece that she's crafting for her portfolio is not going to just be a snapshot of something. It's going to actually solve a problem for other people, other creatives, which to me, which is something I 1000% promote in our program, is if you're going to craft a piece, make sure it solves a problem first, because the more people you help, the more it'll spread, because people will want to share things that are helpful. Awesome, right? So let's talk about her interactive story. So, and as soon as this baby's launched, we're just gonna scream it from the rooftops. Hopefully we'll get her on, we'll do an interview so you guys can learn about her process too and her vision. So this is, she's dealing, her target audience is creatives who are struggling creatives. They're already like, they're overwhelmed with work. They're probably working at a place that recognizes them for their creative talent, but they're just getting smothered, right? So here's some of the beliefs that these people have. I always have to be available, right? She has some of these things probably, and some of her peers do. Where you work at a workplace that's really connected, and now everybody's really connected, so you have to be available 24/7, right? Some of these beliefs. To be creative, you just gotta push harder at the thing. Just sit there and, if I'm not being creative, it's because I'm not putting enough time on the task on hand, right? That's kind of how people think creativity sometimes works. You just have to push through, right? So those are some interesting beliefs. Social interactions are just as meaningful in any form. So one of the things that she's really working on here is her character is through believing these things, is in some way sacrificing those really deep, meaningful social interactions, especially with like family and things like that really nurture a person, and making them as equivalent as some of those other interactions that are not as nurturing but are stimulating. And so quality for quantity, they're like if quantity is big enough, then quality makes up for that gap. And sometimes it doesn't, right? And then that weekends are for relaxing. That's kind of interesting, because if you're a creative, your weekends are the time that's for you, right? But a lot of people are like, oh yeah, finally, look, I worked so hard. All right, just become a vegetable, right? So I think one of the things that's really cool about this piece is that she's really challenging all those common sense things that we believe as creatives about what it means to be really successful. And success, as far as her character is concerned, is different for everybody, but for her character, it's about taking ownership and being independent. And that's what's really cool, because this is a personal journey for this character. And even if I'm not super related to this person, and my goals are maybe not the same, I can see myself through that struggle resonating with her challenges, right? She wants to be autonomous. She wants to have creativity. She wants to produce things. She still wants to connect with people in a meaningful way. All of us could relate to that, right? So here's the goal of the interactive story. I think it's really this is really awesome, because, if you think about it, yes, it could lead to things like you're trying to drive people to take action and take resources, but where can you take them, right? So she wanted to show the consequences of common sense actions, just stuff that you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty mainstream common sense. but is it really good for you just because everybody says it is, right? Is this the best plan? Who sold you on it? Introduce alternate ways of thinking about expectations. You know, we make up all these things like, my work is driving me nuts, I'm so busy, and everybody's always on top of me, like, oh, just, you know, they want stuff. She shows you some alternatives, and you experience them, and that experience is the teaching. That experience is the aha, like, oh wait, I could do it this way. I wonder if that would work for me. I mean, it worked for this character, or maybe it didn't, but I wonder if it would work for me. That's what you want, right? You want people to start considering possibilities. Sell creatives on the journey. This ain't easy, you know, being a top creative or being creative, period, and investing your time outside of even work, or investing your time and managing your time at work to produce things of high quality. That's not easy. That's not a sexy journey, right? That takes effort, time, persistence, sacrificing certain other things. So this is the interactive story. It's selling them on, yeah, right now it's uncomfortable, right? Right now it's not the intuitive thing to do, but what if you could do this and this could be you, right? That's awesome. And then basically challenging the status quo, right? So everybody's doing things this way and expecting these certain things. What if I push back and I assert who I am, figure out as an individual what that means to me? Those are really big, profound questions. I think those are some of the coolest questions to answer, right? And so none of this is explicit, right? None of this is, you're going to learn how to be an independent person. You're going to learn how to assert yourself at work. You're going to set boundaries. No. None of that is said. Because if I put that out there to an audience that's cold, they're going to be like, yeah, right. It's just another one of those checklist courses that tells me how to, be assertive. And at the end, I get to, know the definition of assertiveness. No change has happened. But if I go through the story, experiencing it as a person who's maybe like me, who's not really interested in gaining awareness, who's just, in their rut, in their day, struggling with the same kinds of issues, but I make some decisions and I see that they turn out not the way I planned, maybe I try it again, see a different approach. I wonder if there's a better way I could do things in my life. That's exactly what this is. It's just it's a lens. We're all on with our lenses. And I'm just trying to use my interactive story to just give you a little bit of a tweak, a 2-degree difference. Because that 2-degree difference, down the line means like 45-degree difference, right? And so that's what we're looking for here. That's what we're doing. We're just adjusting. We're adjusting. And the other thing that's really cool, oh, hi, Natalie. One of the things that's really cool here is this is different than, running a webinar. This is different than running a group session. This interactive story is for one person only, right? It's like they get to be the voyeur looking at somebody else's life, looking at somebody else's decisions, but they get to influence them. This is really powerful because I have the power to influence that story. That's why interactive stories have to have that agency and the decisions have to matter. But this is what's epically awesome, is by giving that person choice and agency to make the decisions in a character's life. What I'm doing is I'm allowing that person to experience the success of that character, give them that feeling of success before they've even done anything. And that's pretty rewarding. That is a really positive thing, right? They're learning things along the way, not explicitly hows, but more how to think maybe, or how to, perceive things. It's different. There's something happening. They're getting some ahas, right? But also the other thing is that this is one-on-one. This is personal. I can mess up. I can choose the things I'd never choose ever because I'm in a safe place. And there, it's a very one-on-one experience for me. And that's the kind that you want, especially here. You got to leverage that. Because the group ones, people are influenced by other people. People are scared. People are intimidated. People have judgments and all those other things. And then in a group, that's a different kind of experience. But here, I have the ability to persuade, to inspire, to motivate, to challenge, without anybody else being around to really mess up that experience. It's just me and that learner, right? And can I create an experience that'll take them to the next level? I think that is so powerful. That's so exciting. We really need to leverage this. And that's why storytelling is, as far as I'm concerned, if you set this up right, you set this character up right, there is nothing as compelling. There is no, bedazzled game that's as compelling as the journey of a hero, because that's what grips us, right? We're storytelling creatures. We love that. So just by using this strategy alone, you're already creating a super level of engagement, and it has nothing to do with buttons. It has nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with the tech, because my students are building it in all kinds of technologies. It doesn't matter. If the story's tight, it'll work on paper like in books. But here we get to apply the super level of next level of engagement, which is not only do you get a story, which is already super awesome, but now on top of that, I give you the chance to control that story and see how it plays out. That's pretty awesome too. So those two things, agency and storytelling together, pow, so powerful, so engaging, and such an awesome tool for you to influence people, for you to lead them to these interesting new conclusions they couldn't come up with on their own, right? Super awesome. All right. So I hope you guys have found this super useful. If you did, please let me know. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what are some things that you're struggling with the story? Where are some areas where you're like, how would this work for me? Give me some details. I'd love to talk about it in an upcoming live. And also, it just helps me bring up case studies that I think would be actually helpful for your situation, right? Because I always get people who are like, hey, Anna, that's cool, but this is my context. How will it work for me? So I'd love to hear from you about what you think about this strategy. Does it resonate with you? Are you anxious about it? Because some of us have never written a story, well, since high school maybe. Where are some areas where you'd like me to give you a little bit more help or examples or strategy so that you can be comfortable implementing this in your own life? Now, if you're interested in crafting your own interactive story like Kristin's doing, and you want to see if our coaching program is great for you, it's going to be a good fit, then put a link. I'll put a link underneath the video. You can get in touch with me directly, book a strategy session. We can talk about where you want to take yourself, and then, if it's a good fit and you want to go for it, like you really want to commit the time, then let's do it. All right. So I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day. I'll see you here again tomorrow. So make sure you like the video. You'll get notified as soon as I go live. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of the day. And thanks so much for hanging out here. I know you could be doing a million other things, but you're here and I love it and I appreciate it. Take care, friends. Bye.